Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hello, friends, and welcome to another Ride and Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. I got to play in another live event recently, and so as we got to play in another tournament, we get to do another tournament report, as you guys would come to expect from what I do here. So this was an AGA rated event. I'm a 1K player in AGA, and this event was 4 rounds. I'm hoping to go over all 4 of the games I played. They were all fun games. I was able to record all of most of the games except this first one. I ran out of time, probably like 2/3 of the way through the game, and so I just had to stop recording. So this one doesn't go all the way to the end, but we still get to highlight some pretty interesting things, and I can go over, how that game ended up. With that said, I want to try a different format this time. I'm actually not a huge fan of me just going through and kind of like going over the game and showing how it went. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to try to go through the game as if I'm playing it and actually talking through the moves and whatnot. And it might be really funky, but we'll see how it goes. I'm always interested in trying like new formats and stuff and seeing what works and what doesn't. So with that said, we're going to go over game 1 today. In game 1, we get to play somebody who the channel's probably pretty familiar at this point in time. I got to play Eric yet again, this time against Eric. So our first round opponent is Eric. This is our first game of this session against Eric. I have played against Eric a lot. And I've been playing him a lot in tournaments recently, in leagues recently, but our games are always fun. I kind of chuckled when I saw that that's who I was paired against in round 1. So yeah, it was a fun game. So let's go take a look at it. Okay, here we go. So we are playing as white this game. Our opponent opens with 4-4. We'll do a 4-4. He does a 3-4 facing, and we will do a 3-4 facing as well. And we'll see what he ends up doing. So he does a high approach or a high extension off of his 3-4 stone. That makes sense. Oftentimes I will go and jump in immediately. I don't like my opponents creating a Moyo, but we can do a Moyo of our own as well if black wants to go that way. So I'm just going to approach low here and see what our friend does. He decides to kick, and so we will extend up. He then jumps, and so I think it's simple enough to extend this way, whether or not we want to take the 4th line stone, 3rd line stone. I typically like playing the 4th line stone. I like going for influence, especially with us having a 3rd line stone here. If black lets us get the extension at like C5 or D6, then I'll want a 4th line stone here. So that's why I'm going to go this way. And so this move is not surprising at all, right? Like I just mentioned, if we had gotten something like C5 or D6, that threatens a pretty big framework. So here we're just going to, I think we're just going to do the normal variation here. I'd expect black to Hane. Black does Hane. We will descend. Black connects. And now we would typically play F3, but I wonder if we can get more because of the K4 stone and some strength over here. Typically there's a weakness at E3 if we do something like G3. But I wonder if we can play more, something maybe like F4 or even G4. And actually I think this will be okay if we play G4, because if our opponent plays E3, I can actually just pinch at F3, and if he descends, I can play on top and it kills the stones, and so he'd have to pull back and allow us to connect underneath. But that is where Eric plays. But this is what we had read out, so we will just pinch here, and I believe he has to pull back now, and he does, and that allows us to connect underneath. So I think this is okay. There's obviously tons of Aji here, but this seems reasonable. And so now Eric goes and takes the extension. So that is fine. We've got one more corner that we probably want to do something with before we start, invading, reducing the right side. We could also look at something. We could look at something like C12
to, to maybe try to take away the base of this, or we can just, extend off the corner. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to extend off the corner. Uh, and this response makes sense right now. Eric's looking to build something similar to what we've got at the bottom. Seems reasonable. So here, do we want to respond to this? We could play away. But with Eric playing this now, I think we can just play something like b16, and that gets us a pretty sizable corner. That's kind of similar to the corner down here, though we can still play r3, so this is insecure. And then our side here is kind of similar to Eric's side on the left, but I think ours has more potential. Okay, so it looks like he wants to activate some of the Aji. We can't play g2 because then he'll just Atari at d2, and then when we capture, he'll go and end up capturing these 3 stones. So we can't do that. So I think we just have to connect here, which is fine. That makes our corner nice, and I think we'll be okay here. We'll probably just end up getting some influence. This is a surprising move. I feel like this makes these stones a little more heavy than I'd expect. I was kind of expecting maybe he would do something like h4 to kind of turn this Aji on. But this does, threaten stuff over here, so maybe it's reasonable enough. But here, I just want to keep him low, I think. So yeah, let's just play here and see what kind of, what else he's going to do with this. But I think this is a good exchange for us. So we will see. Okay, so he goes and takes this automatic, instantly. That's interesting, because that's going to turn off some of the Aji here, I think. Though this does protect against the R3. And do we want to answer this move? I think we do, because I guess we do have to respect what's going on over here with these 2 stones. So we will just block here. I wonder if Eric's just going to Snooki now, because he can give that stone up. But he does choose to connect. So the question now is, do we want to close off the shape with something like M3? This would pretty much guarantee a full kill on these 2 stones. There is going to be a pinch later at M2, and or forcing move at somewhere like M5 if I don't cover this now. But it feels kind of endgamey, and so I think it's a little early for that. So I think I want to go kind of disrupt what's going on here. He's got a lot of 4th line stones, so tons of potential here. Nice and strong over in this corner, so I want to play further away from that. So I think we're just going to go approach these 2 stones. I typically like approaching from here. I expect that Eric will probably kick to, just to protect the corner, and that's fine. We can extend, or we can jump out this way. But Eric decides to pincer instead. So that's interesting. That's obviously also a fine option. We can jump out. But then Black's going to have just an easy time just making a base and kind of chasing this group around. So I wonder if I can actually do something over here and just make this group awkward for him. And I think that's what I want to try. So actually, I'm going to play O17. A bit of a strange move, but I like what it does. It makes things a little trickier here. So I'm curious to see how he responds to that. So he plays the cap. Yeah, so now I guess the question is, do we want to keep on moving out with something like, L6 or L17 and M16 to develop here? The concern there is if I play that, then he could play something like O12, Q12, something around here to really make this group annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is let's go threaten to make a base with this first, and see what happens. If we just have this one outside stone we have to deal with, that's not too bad. So okay, so then Eric attaches here. So attaching to a weak stone, I think that's probably going to turn out okay for us. It's putting a lot of effort into capturing this one stone, so I think we just let that go for now, right? Because it's still going to take another move to capture that stone. So I think for now, yeah, we can just leave this. So I want to strengthen this more. So do we want to play something like S11? Do we want to play R17? I like that. We can also look at this peep if this does anything. I wonder if the peep does anything. It looks like it does, right? If we play here and he ignores, we can push through and we can connect. So that doesn't end too well for him. So yeah, let's just do this peep, and that'll help get us some eye space. And Eric does block. Seems perfectly reasonable. So now, are we okay enough in the corner? I think we are. I think we've got Mii between something like S18, S11, or we can even jump out. So maybe we want to go and just force him to capture this stone and be wildly over concentrated. I kind of like that as a plan. So let's go take a look at the Hane here. Unsurprisingly, he cross cuts. That is perfectly fine. We're gonna go take this Atari now. Again, the plan is basically just to force him to capture that stone and be just very over concentrated. So we'll go and connect here. And the reason that we connect here now is it comes in Sente, because if we play O18, his two stones die. With that said, this move's obviously Sente as well. So I guess this isn't truly Sente, right? Because we're certainly going to answer this move. But eventually Black is going to have to come back to fix that. Okay, so he's looking to take the outside. That's perfectly fine. As long as we end up living here, everything is going to be okay. Well, I say everything's going to be okay, but I think we will be fine. I like the shape that we're in this game, because we've got some nice strength here now. This helps develop potential here. With that strength, we can go look at something like C12 and really force some action over there. But first we need to make sure we're okay here. Let's see. So we can just extend, but then when we Hane, he can double Hane. So let's just get ahead of that and take the attachment here. Hopefully he just extends. I guess he can Hane here too. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, we'll just pull back. And now we kind of look alive. Mainly because there's some play over here. So then he connects here. So is that Sensei? Do we have to do anything there? I think we're already alive. I think we are already alive. I wonder if we can take this cut. That's probably not a great idea. But you want to know what? Black didn't come back to defend this. So I think capturing these two stones is probably the way to go here, right? Kind of looks like we got the best of both worlds here. We ended up getting a living group and insane strength on the outside, and it's great potential. I kind of like how this has turned out. Okay, so Eric plays there. The unfortunate empty triangle. That's fine. We'll go and finish these off. I'm assuming he will play P18 now. But he doesn't. Okay, so he goes and looks to take the corner back. Seems a little small. A surprising move. So actually, we can just threaten to push through, because obviously, if he does anything else, we just take R18. And if he plays R18, we can just connect to S16, which threatens to kill this stone, which actually doesn't matter because we're already alive. So that's fine. Okay, so now he comes and Ataris our stones, and actually, it's funny, right? Because I always go over, I like going over, when we should be saving stones versus sacrificing stones. And there are three questions. If you've watched my videos, I bring this up a lot. There are three questions we can ask. And the first question is, do these stones affect the life and death status of anything else on this board? And it's hard to say because, like, the answer is yes, right? If we capture N19, then these stones are going to be nice and alive. But, like, they're also nice and alive if I just play J16. That's probably bigger than these two, but and just having something that is just automatically alive and really strong just feels good. I do wonder if I should be snooking here though, because it's, if I go play something like C12 or E14. I really like E14. If Black captures, right, I get another move out here. But I do also like having a strength. I'm unsure, but I am just going to capture. And then and now he comes back and fixes the corner. But I still think we're alive. So I end up getting all of this in Sente. That's pretty rough. I'll take it. Yeah, that side. This is alive. This is alive. Because I've got Mii between T12 and T13. And so if he plays one, I can just get the other. I've got enough room to get a second eye here until he plays something like T16 or T10. One of the Hanes will make it so I have to respond. If I don't have to respond right now, so I'm going to come back and take this move that I pointed at earlier. It's a huge move. It's a huge move. Looks to develop even more potential here and looks to threaten to jump in here. This is a very surprising move. I'm not sure what this one's really looking to do. Kind of looks like a lost stone in the center of the board. So do we just want to block to really develop our territory? I think it's a little too early to develop territory. We could look to jump to make sure all the center is Dame, because I think we're ahead as long as black doesn't get something big in the center here. This corner is quite large, but this corner is pretty big too. And then this side, it's only potential right now. We can still go in, and I think we'll end up getting more points here, and then we've got the few points here, and we'll have a few points here. And plus Dame. I think we're ahead as long as nothing bad happens. So maybe now is the timing to just go and reduce this left side. And I'm wondering if we want to do something like C12, or if we want to look at even something like B8. This is kind of a classic invasion point, because if we play here, it threatens to connect or it threatens to jump out. And actually, that's what we're going to end up doing. I'm going to play here. Wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I don't know. Maybe he will take the outside. Maybe he'll take the corner. But he does descend to block us off there. That's fine though, because the corner's already alive. So we're just going to jump out now. And unsurprisingly, he attaches. So we're going to play one of the two Hanes. Unsure which one is better. It's worth noting that his group isn't alive yet. So if I play on this side and he cuts and I go and get this and we connect up here, his group's going to be in a lot of trouble. Versus if I play here and he cuts and we go this way, maybe he ends up getting an eye there. Yeah, I'm not sure which way I want to go. Because he's weak on this side too. So actually, maybe there's more potential here. We're not going to kill this group. That's obviously fun. And I don't know what profit we'd get from chasing that. So let's go take this cut, because I want to get the other side. So that's pretty much forced, and we'll go take this Atari now, and he takes this Atari. That is fine. Do we just capture? Do we connect? I think I just want to capture. Getting a Panuki in the center can't be bad. And then, unsurprisingly, he connects up. So it looks like we get this in Sensei too. So this is feeling pretty good. Good reduction on the left side. We've got some more strength in the center. So I think I want to come back and again make sure that this isn't going to turn a lot of points. We could consider a growing move like Tengen, or something on the right side like 07. But I do kind of want to see if I can do an attack on this stone, because there is some weakness over here. So if we're able to get something like E12 and Sente while we're attacking this, then there's potential to actually go after the C14 stone. Okay. Yeah, that is good timing. Maybe I should have just connected there just to force it. And are we dead if we do not respond to this? Let's take a look. So if we play away and black plays T10, are we in trouble? Yeah, I don't like how that looks. I think the Hane is a little problematic, probably. Let's see. Also, he can just Atari here, and when I Atari, he descends. Yeah, I think we need to play another move. I think we need to play a move here. So let's go play T12 to make sure that we are alive here. He does play the Hane, and we still need another move, so we'll go play T13. So that's fine. I mean, the fact that we're even alive here, honestly, is fine because we already Tanuki'd from this. So let him get these moves in Sensei. That's fine. Okay, so now he's looking to cut here. So we've got options. We can look at either Hane, we can extend, we can go jump this way. But I kind of want to isolate this stone. That was kind of the plan here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play the inside Hane, which isn't the normal way to go because it does create a cut here, but I'm going to sacrifice this stone. I'm going to play this Atari here, and then when he extends, we are going to block. And if he cuts, then we can extend, and obviously if he cuts here, we'll just extend. So he does cut. That's fine. I think I'll just extend, get my strength here. He pushes. We can't let him head it too, so we have to extend again. He extends, same thing. We can't let him Hane at the head of 3 because he'll get the double Hane. So we will just extend one more time. And he extends again. So we're kind of like both getting the same out of this, which is really not a lot. I guess the difference, though, is he's going to be getting strength towards some stones that might be able to be bullied a little bit, and this group's so strong that I can't do anything about it. Okay, so let's move a little faster. We're just gonna jump here, just to get ahead a little faster. Of course, with them playing here, we just have to connect the cut. So I'm really glad that I jumped here, just to fill it again. And so now he comes back to make some good shape. That is fine. Yeah, let's go protect these stones. I don't like K15 because then he's just going to play J15. So I want to get ahead of that. Just going to play J16 here. And if he Ataris these stones, I actually don't care too much. Okay, so he attaches there. If we play K15, he gets to do the double Hane. I don't like that. So I'm just going to come back and play K16 rather. And if he Ataris, I'm actually going to give those stones up, I think. But instead he jumps into the corner. That's probably just okay. Maybe we go play something like this just to kill the Aji. Or connect here that threatens to kill the 2 stones. Or we can just respond with B2. Like that's also simple. Yeah, let's just do this. This is probably the cleanest way to get life in the corner. And now he extends. Wonder what his plan is with that. I don't think we can get away with this, because then he can play G3, which Ataris this stone, and then he can play J3, which Ataris this stone, and then can capture. So we'll just extend, and if he extends again, I will play the Hane. Okay, so he attaches here. So he's looking to play G2 here, right? If he plays G2, Ataris this stone. If we play here, he then plays H4, which captures those stones. So we have to do something to fix that. And I think the obvious move is just to play F4, right? Threatens the cut. It keeps us connected. So yeah, that's the move. But you'll notice, so I'm doing this, obviously. I already played this game, so I know where I played. I don't know why I didn't play F4. I don't play F4 here. And it feels kind of foolish. So we're just gonna move past this one, guys, okay? You're just gonna have to accept that sometimes you have to play the dual power triangle. Remember, if you play it, it's the power triangle. If your opponent plays it, it's the empty triangle. Why did I not play F4? The world will never know, but that is not where I played. Okay, so now he comes back and Ataris these 2 stones. But honestly, I think that's just fine. This group, I can't attack this group. This group's too strong, so it's not like connecting really does anything. So I'm actually going to go play here. And if he captures, I get to play, I'll just play L17. So yeah, he does capture it, but now I can just play L17, and that keeps me connected, and I get to develop the top more. It's also worth noting about 10 moves ago, you didn't see it because the magic of editing. I counted. It looks like I'm up by about 11 or 12 points. So securing the top here feels pretty good. Okay, so yeah, so now we kind of see the downside of giving black all this strength now. This is a nice move. I like this move because it starts a splitting attack against these 4 stones, and this here. But these stones have a lot of movement in them. These have less. So I'm just going to play right here to look to connect up. This also pokes at cuts here. So we can look to, if he goes after this group, we can look to break through there. And yeah, that makes sense. So now he's looking to surround this group, also looking to develop this all makes sense. We obviously need to do something here. So I'm just going to go play this move to threaten to cut through, get connected here. As long as we get out of this without too much trouble, I think we'll be in a fine position. And I feel like Eric probably gets that sense as well, playing a move like this. But I think we can just play here, doing some reading. If I play here and he blocks, I can play here, which threatens to kill this with a net and threatens to kill these stones. Yeah, pushing through is fine. This should work out. So Eric does block, and yeah, we already read this out. We can just play this here, which again threatens to net this stone. Or if he saves that, then we can push through at e6 into e5, which threatens both cuts. So we should be okay. So yeah, so he protects that. Makes sense. We're just going to go net the stone now. So okay, so now he's pushing here. So we can just look to extend. That seems pretty straightforward. We can also look to play here, which gets us maybe some more eye space. I like the shape a little better. So yeah, we're going to play here. That threatens to the Hane on top to connect up. And now black looks to break through here. Yeah, things are getting a little tricky, but I think we can still stay connected here. I need to make sure that we get life with this group, though. I wonder if we can just connect here and threaten to cut, but I don't think that'll do anything. Yeah, let's go get some more. Let's just go get some more eye space. I'm going to play here and see if we can find a way to cut through or find a way to get a second eye. So yeah, obviously he's looking to cut through now. So we can just block, and then the Atari's here. We connect, he connects. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. But maybe we're probably just going to end up giving up this stone. I wonder if this is just the shape move to do. Yeah, let's play here. If he pushes through, we can just connect. And so he does in fact Atari. Is connecting worth it? I think it probably is. Because it comes in Sente, right? Because eventually he'll have to come back to fill K5. So yeah, let's go play this. I suspect that he's going to connect here. But instead he plays this. And that threatens the cut, right? Because if we don't do anything, if we play K5 here, he can just play M7. And then when we block, he can cut here. So we need to protect that. I think we'll just do the bamboo joint. I know it makes an empty triangle, but it keeps us protected. It takes a liberty away from this stone, so now we can look at something like 08 or 07. And he still has to come back to play K5. Yeah, I mean, we knew this was here, right? We knew this was here for a long time. This little pinch, um, and that's fine. We can't play here, because then he can just play on top, and yeah, things aren't going to work too well there. We'll end up losing these 2 stones, so we're just gonna play on top, and yeah, this is gonna be a big reduction. But here we can't connect because then black just push out and threaten to connect to these 3 stones. So I'm going to Atari this, and yeah, black can just capture. That's fine. But now we get to extend here. That fully blocks this off. If black extends up, we can Atari and then connect. So that is fine. Okay, so he extends. We can't play here because of the ko. We're still ahead, so there's no reason to do a ko. So yeah, we'll just block this, and then we'll connect here, and black still eventually needs to come back. And so unfortunately, this is where my recording stopped. I'm a slow player, and things were getting tricky here because this group isn't alive yet. While I am ahead, I'm concerned, black playing a move like this. When I had counted black, I didn't count any points here for black. I didn't count a lot of points here for black. So I knew I still needed to stay with this game. And so yeah, got low on time and wasn't able to record it. But from what I remember, black was able to seal this off and get quite a few more points here than I was expecting. But at the same time, while that was happening, I was, black did something like this. I was able to get this, and some other forcing moves, and I actually ended up getting something like 9 points here. I ended up getting like all of these as points, which was absolutely also not part of my counting. So pretty much my counting had stayed accurate. I did end up winning this game by about 11 points. Eric unfortunately timed out. We were using we were using a clock, and we hadn't done the setting where it beeps at the end to give you the 10, like the 15, 10, 5-second warning. And so he ended up running out of time. But it was as we were filling Dame, so it was pretty much right at the end. So we were able to just continue out the game just to fill it out to see how it was, to see what the end result would have been. And yeah, I ended up winning, I think, by 11.5 or 12.5 points. But a fun game. I felt like I was in pretty good control for a lot of this. When I was able to, I was pretty happy with this. During the game, I thought that this was a big mistake by black. It's totally playable. This all works. But one common theme in a lot of games I have with Eric is I don't know how it works out this way, but I end up just always getting sente. And so, so it's like when I play this move, whatever happens here, I should not get sente at the end. I'm approaching 2 of his stones, and when the dust settled, right, black played here. I was able to capture. He played here, and then I got the move in sente. So like getting this seems pretty wild. And then similarly over here, I played in an area that he has more stones than I do. And we made this exchange, and then I ended up getting sente here as well. So it was really those two sequences made this game feel really, really comfortable for me, even though afterwards this group did get under some pretty serious attack. I still feel like a Tanuki was the right thing. I don't think this is the right move. This move is just as weird as J13, honestly. I think here we can either just go look to do something like this, just now to really go pressure this stone, and to reduce here since we're already ahead. So this would be something comfortable for white, or something as simple as just playing here. I think either of those options would have been better than what I ended up doing here, just allowing black to get this huge wall to go after these stones. So that was the the one big regret from this game. But obviously happy to start the tournament with a win. The goal coming into the tournament, I wanted a winning record. I wanted to go at least 3-1. So obviously, starting with a win helps that. Obviously, I don't want a losing record, so at least 2-2. Hoping to at least go 2-2, but I am looking for that winning record. So anyway, this is the end of the first game, and I think that format probably worked out fine. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. I'm curious also what I feel after I go and edit it, what it'll look like. But I think this probably worked out better than just going through the game. But maybe it's clunky and awkward. Who knows? So that's why I want you guys to let me know if you liked this format better than me going through and just kind of showing how the game's played. Like I said, this is the only game that I don't have the full recording. I have the full recording for the next 3 games, so we don't stop at move 180, and there's still 50, 60, 70 moves left. So anyway, that's where we'll leave this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, as for always, thanks for coming out for another Ride in Struggle Bus where every wheel's not a triangle. Have a good one, guys.